Assalamu alaikum, hope you all are fine. In this video, we will learn about the nomenclature of amines. So, firstly, we will see the naming of simple amines. That is, simple amine, 1 degree amines are named as alkyl group and then alkyl group with attached with the amine. And these examples are given below as a methyl group attached with the amine group. It will name as methylamine, and the ethyl group, two carbon compound of alkane, and with the amine group it will name as ethylamine. So the other example is third example, 4 carbon alkyl group with the amine, that will name as butylamine. So these are the common names of amines of 1 degree amines. That 1 degree amine means when the amine group when the carbon attached with the amine group, and it will further attach no carbon or 1 carbon, and it form a chain, is known as 1 degree amines. So the other is a symmetrical 2 degree and 3 degree amines, and they name as dialkyl amines or trialkyl amines. So when the amine attached with the 2 carbon alkyl group, it will name as when two groups of ethyl attached with the amine group or nitrogen, it will name as diethyl amine. And when the three alkyl group, that is methyl group attached with the amine group or nitrogen, it will be named as trimethylamine. So these are the naming of simple amines. And when we see the IUPAC naming of amines, we have to replace the alkane name E from alkane, and uh, it will replace with the amine group. So when we write alkane name, and we have to remove the E, the last letter E, and it will be replaced by the amine. And the second rule is number position of amino group lowest on the parent chain. So we have to give the lowest number on the parent chain to amine group. And if a substituent on nitrogen prefixed with N, if and it will it means that if the substituent attached on the nitro group or amine group, we have to name with the addition of N, and the group name, that is alkyl group. And if the group is methyl, so we will write it as N methyl. So we will see the first example that has amino group, and it is attached on the third carbon, and of the 5 carbon chain. So we will name it as at third position amino group, and 3 pentane, uh, because we have to remove the E and replace it with the amino group. So basically we name it as 3 pentane amine. So in the next example, that is 6 carbon chain, and on the second carbon we have to give the lowest number to the amino group, and it is the second 2 hexaamine. And the third example, that has 4 carbon chain along with the substituent, and we have to write it as 3 methyl, because on the third carbon there is a substituent that is attached on the carbon, that is methyl group, and at first carbon position there is amine group, so we will write it as 1 butane amine. And the next example is one group is attached on the amino group, so we will name it as N capital N, and the group name methyl, and we have 4 carbon chain, and on second carbon there is a amine group, so we will write it as 2-butane amine. And the other example is the amine group has a methyl group, and we will name it as N-methyl, and on the second position there is a amine group and 6 carbon chain, so we will name it as N-methyl 2-hexamine. And the other example is when the amino group has two group and these groups are same, so we will write it as NN dimethyl, because these groups are same. The methyl group we have to write is dimethyl, and 6 carbon chain, and on the second carbon there is amine group attached, so we will name it as 2-hexamine. And the other example that contains amine group with two different substituents on N group, so we will name it alphabetically as N-ethyl, because comes ethyl, in ethyl E comes before M in the alphabetic order, so we will name it as N-ethyl, N-methyl 2-hexamine. So the other example is there are two amine groups present on the chain, so we will have to give them a lower number. So if we count from right to left or left to right, the numbers are same, 2 and 5. On 2 and 5 carbon there is amine group attached on the chain, so we will name it as 2 and 5 hexane diamine, so it will name it as hexanediamine. And the other example is a closed chain compound, that is a cyclohexane, and one on one carbon the amino group attached, so we will number start from the number from the amine group that is attached on the carbon, so we have to write it as cyclohexane amine. The other is the amine groups and their common names and IUPAC name. So when the alkyl group that has two carbon, we name it as ethyl, and the amine we will name it as amine. So in the common name it will known as ethyl amine, but in the IUPAC name ethane amine, we have to replace the E with the amine. And the other examples are same, the common names and IUPAC name. So the when the fourth example is carbon 6, and it will it is attached with the amine group, so its common name is aniline, or its IUPAC name is aniline or benzene amine. So it is a ring compound of benzene which attach a amine group, so its common name is aniline. And the other is the benzene that attach with the amine group, and the amine group further are attached with the two methyl group, so we will name it as NN dimethyl aniline. These are the common names and IUPAC names of different kinds of amines. So the next is more compounds, examples of alkyl amines. So first is amine with which is attached with the methane group, it will name as methane amine. And the other example that contains 3 carbon, and on the first carbon there is a group that is amino group, and we will name it as propane. uh, and we have to replace the E from with the amine, so at one position there is amine group. And the other example is also a propane compound, but the amine group position is different. It is on the second carbon position, and we have to name it as propane, and on second position there is a amine group, so it is propane to amine. And the other example is when the amino group attached further attached with a group of substituent, it will name it as n methyl ethane amine. So the other example is the amine group that is further attached with the two substituents, that is one methyl and the other is ethyl group. So we will name it as ethyl before methyl, because alphabetically E comes before the M. So we will name as N-ethyl and methyl propane amine, because the chain consists of three carbon atoms. So the other is the structure of amines, and in the structure of amines, the nitrogen is sp3 hybridized with the lone pair of electrons in an sp3 orbital. So nitrogen has three bonds with the carbon atom, and has a lone pair on it, and this lone pair will have a hydrogen bonding with other amino groups. So this is the structure of amines, and this cloud like structure is the electrostatic potential map of for the trimethylamine. So trimethylamine is the amino group that has three groups attached on it, and these groups are all methyl groups. So it will name as ethyl group. And the structure of amines, and it contains when the nitrogen attached with hydrogen, and its bond angle is 107. When the groups that is attached on the nitrogen of amino group, its bond angle changes somehow, slightly difference between when the hydrogen attached with the nitro group, and when the methyl group or alkyl group attached with the nitro group. So it has the lone pair attached on it. And the other is the physical properties. So the physical properties has of amine groups that are the hydrogen bonding between primary amine molecule. So this is the structure. As you can see, the hydrogen bonding between the amino group, one amino group's lone pair, and the other amino group hydrogen, they will have a hydrogen bonding. And due to this hydrogen bonding, it is in the form of liquid. And this is the end of the topic. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.